Epstein time, baby. I'm waiting on... I gotta be here ready, waiting on Bird at all times. I don't want to be underdressed if he shows up.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face
Uh-oh. Forgot to stop it. Here we go.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. We are in full defensive mode, costume equipped, ready to go. I don't want to be underdressed when Bert shows up. So I feel like I'm safe to take it off during the stream. But at any other time, I'm wearing this. Okay? Even all day today at work. I don't know when he's going to sneak up on me. Maybe he's got, you know how people wear like a fat suit? Maybe he's got like a skinny suit. Then I was thinking, how embarrassing would it be if he comes as Batman too? But Austin pointed out, if Bert comes as Batman, it's probably going to be the retro Batman. So we'll get this Bert. Maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to take it off while we stream, but I'm documenting. I am out of costume, Bert. I'm out of you can't sneak up on me while I'm live. Okay? Out of costume, out of character. I'll be back in costume as soon as we play the outro music, okay? Plus, that kind of pushes down on my nose. Makes it hard to breathe. I got a deviated septum. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. What's up? A lot of stuff going on today. A lot of stuff. A lot of my links are not going to work because I don't know what the hell's wrong with my phone app. I'm going to try to restart it. But until then, we'll get some stuff going. What do you think? There was I don't know what's going on, okay? Let me show you something about Phil.
Hot Boaty Sauce just resubscribed for 30 months.
Let me finish his text message first. I don't know what's going on with this Phil story, and I don't even know how to cover it. So, what do we do here? All right, if we go to Twitter, and then I go to Patriot Princess. You guys remember Patriot Princess? She popped up and started confirming Phil's comms and doing QAnon stupid, retarded shit. And it was dumb, right? But that was a thing. He endorsed her. She endorsed him. They went back and forth a couple times, endorsing each other. Then they had like kind of a weird falling out where she said, oh, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And he's like, no, you got the comms wrong. It was a weird thing. That's not it. Is this it? I was just on there earlier. Hold on. Now where the hell is it? Oh, this might be it. So she claims to be an anon. Phil makes up gibberish text messages. She claims that she decodes them, right? That's all a thing. So she makes a big Telegram post with some images that I probably can't show on here. A lot of images. And these images appear to show her like topless in the bathtub, just a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you guys remember, but during last night's show, I asked if Phil got busted sexting Patriot Princess, and no one really responded, but whatever. Because I saw that Shaq was sharing a story about it. So Patriot Princess shares this on Telegram. Okay, that's where we're going to start. I can't show you the pictures. You can go look at them if you want. Some of them are clothed. Most of them are not. Some of them's in a bathtub or laying on her bed, a couch, whatever. But she says, "Hey guys, someone or a group of people are clearly trying to take me down. My iCloud has been hacked, and they have created fake accounts of me posting AI videos and pictures of me and some of Phil with fake DMs and texts. Most of them don't even look like me or him. These deep fakes have been happening for several years now, all over TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook." So what we hear is for some reason her iCloud was hacked, but they made AI videos and pictures. If your iCloud was hacked, why would they need to make AI pictures and videos? But whatever. Then it says, "Many of these accounts are trying to sell crypto or other things. I do not sell anything except my book and my clothing I design. I never give financial or medical advice. I have much respect and love for Phil and Carrie. None of this is real. I hope we can get back to being United Patriots." These photos were and are meant for my boyfriends. So if they hacked your iCloud, then they probably got your nudes. But then you say they're fake and they don't even look like you. And then you come back and say, well, they're real. I made them for my boyfriend. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because you could argue that the one that she's talking about are AI and fake are the ones that are like messages between her and Phil, right? You could argue that. But she says they don't even look like me and my boyfriend. So she's clearly talking about the images. And of course, they've got Phil's tattoos. They've got her fucking way over filtered face where she puts on like 30 goddamn beauty filters, and no one knows what she really looks like. And at first, I thought maybe she just leaked these because she's tired of people. There's a big movement going on that she's transgender, that she's a dude. And it all started because someone analyzed her cheekbones and shit. The crazy shit that fucking Trump supporters do, okay? I don't believe that. I have no reason to believe that whatsoever. But they analyzed her cheekbone and her hip width and something, whatever. And they dig into that. The Phil haters dig into that even more. Like, oh, she's a dude and Phil has sex with her because he's gay and she's trans. It was just so weird. But how can they be deep fake AI, but also from your iCloud account, but also real, but also they don't look like you? They're real because you made them for your boyfriend, but they don't look like you. How could they be purposely meant for your boyfriend, but also they're AI so they don't look like you? Like, what the fuck? Then it goes on to say, I hope you all understand. I would like to keep my personal life private and talk about the beautiful new republic. Love you all. In my head, what I think happened, and there's no way for me to prove this. What I think happened is that maybe she did get hacked or someone got access or someone saw it or she shared it with somebody and they leaked them. And it looks like it caught Phil up in it. And between her and Phil, she said this to disarm everything. I love Phil and Carrie. I would never do that. And maybe they did have some type of weird sexting thing going on. I'm going to show one on the screen that I don't think has any nudity. But you can tell right here, it literally says Phil, right? That'll be our thing. Don't forget the banana. Then it's obviously a video of her with her tits out. And it says, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Then a laughing face, something, something, right? And you can see from the previews of the images down here, they're pretty scandalous images, most of them. Some of them are like in a bikini or in a bathing suit. Very strange. Very strange. And then I asked about it last night to see if anybody knew. No one said anything. But then we went to Phil's show to see if he addressed it, and it didn't seem like he addressed it. And she kind of says the same thing on Twitter. She says, hey, guys, someone or a group of people are clearly trying to take me down. My iCloud has been hacked. They have created fake accounts of me posting AI videos and pictures of me, and some of Phil with fake DMs and texts. I never give financial or medical advice. I have much respect and love for Phil and Carrie. None of this is real. I hope we can get back to the United Patriots. These photos were and are meant for my boyfriend. I hope you all understand. I would like to keep my personal life private, talk about the beautiful new republic. So basically the same message that she puts on TikTok or on Twitter. But her Twitter doesn't get much engagement. It's literally has no comments on it. Kind of strange, but weird, no? Like the whole thing is weird. So did Phil get busted sexting? I don't know. There are pictures of like Phil's dick and shit, and it's like got his tattoos and his arm and his house background and shit like that. So I have no idea. I don't know how to cover it. I don't know how to begin to cover it. If we knew who the leaker was, we would have somewhere to go to and be like, oh, where'd you get these from? Can you prove where you got them from? Can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah, we can't get anywhere with that. So that's where it stands currently. I'm trying to relaunch my phone app and see if it'll update. It's all weird to me. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Now I want to show you a photo. Okay? And this photo's weird. I'll give you that. It's a weird photo. I want you to tell me there's in each photo, there's a woman and a man. And in the other photo, there's a woman and a man. Now the woman is the same woman. Okay? The woman is the same woman each time in both photos. You tell me if you see any similarities in the man in each photo, okay? The woman's the same woman in each photo. You tell me if you see similarities in the male subjects of both photos. Are we ready? Can we handle that? Is that something we can do, chat? Here we go. Just take it all in for a minute. You don't have to be the first to answer, okay? It's not a time test. Right? Just let it sink in. Hold on, I get it back up. If I can pull it down by accident. There it is back. The logos are real. That's not what's important, but the logos are real. This is Carolyn Levitt, okay? This is Carolyn Levitt's husband. And this is Carolyn Levitt's dad. I didn't ask if they were the same guy. Clearly, they're not the same fucking person. They're two different people. It blew my mind when I saw this photo. Do you think she was... You think she was trying to marry her dad? Yeah, I said the woman in the photo is the same. The man is not. Do you see any similarities in the two? Like, that's some type of weird shit. That's like too close. Like fucking doppelgangers, dude. Like what? Yes, it's definitely creepy. Some women, or a percentage of women, marry men that look that are like their dad, and they notice that 30 years from now because their dad and their husband are not the same age. Right, 30 years from now, they're like, you kind of look like my dad back when I was a little kid. Not actively, you look exactly like my dad because you're both fucking 70. And I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. By the way, while we're on Carolyn Levitt and the Trump administration, the discharge petition is going to go through. Why is the discharge petition a big deal? Well, it seems like it's probably going to go through. Why is it a big deal? Not because it'll instantly release the Epstein files. No one should think that. There are people that think that once they pass it, the Epstein files are just, it doesn't work that way. In fact, what would happen is the discharge petition would force a vote on it. Then they would vote on it, then it would go to the other side of Congress. From the other side of Congress, it would get voted on. If both of those vote to pass it, then it would go to Trump. And Trump would have to sign it, just like a law or an act or any other thing, okay? The discharge petition, all it does is Mike Johnson will not bring a floor vote. So we're getting enough people to force him to bring a floor vote on releasing the unredacted Epstein files. What does that do? Even if it doesn't immediately release the Epstein files, what does it actually do? It makes Republicans and Democrats across the board vote. Do you want to release the Epstein files? Yes or no? None of this bullshit. I would, but this and that and the victims and I don't know and this committee and that. It puts it in front of them. They're only going to have two choices. Yes or no to release the unredacted Epstein files to the public. Then, if it passes those, right, if their constituents hold their feet to the fire and make them vote that, then it goes to Trump. And he has to go on record and either sign it or veto it. I do not think that even if it barely passes, I don't think it'll get the veto-proof majority. So he can sign it or veto it, but it puts it on his lap. And he has to sign his name to it. Honestly, I think he'll veto it. The Epstein files seem to be really bad for Trump. Honestly, I think he'll veto it. But at least we got his name, and when the Epstein files were there, he ran on releasing them, and all he had to do was sign his name. He said no. Now, Trump does not want that at all. Trump doesn't even want this discharge petition. So much so that he has called Nancy Mace and who is the other one? Boebert to the Situation Room. To the fucking Situation Room, where the president usually goes and gets briefed on acts of war. He is bringing in, he knows he can't flip any Democrats. He is bringing in loyal Republicans from the House and sitting them down and trying to talk them out to flip their vote. Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace are already on the discharge petition. They're already on it. And that Gravalta or whatever her name is from Arizona, she's the final vote they need. And she's been sworn in, and they're planning on voting on that early next week. So he's got basically a week. He's got basically a fucking week to flip somebody. So he calls two loyal women, right? He likes the control aspect. They're women. He's a man. He's obviously smarter and can talk them into anything. He has the Attorney General, the Assistant Attorney General, and Kash fucking Patel in there to try to talk. How fucking crazy is that? That's insane. People are like, you don't know what they talked about. What the fuck do you think they talked about? They're coming out and saying what they talked about. Lauren Boebert now thinks, if it backfired to Lauren Boebert, she now thinks it's more of a conspiracy than it was before. And they're trying to cover it up. Check out this one. Where are we at? Luke Beasley.
Well, it does seem that today's show is going to be pretty much, for the rest of it, about one topic. And that makes sense, an important one. All anyone's talking about is what we've been going through in today's show, which is these Epstein emails talking about Trump. Quotes like, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim redacted spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned by the police chief, etc.
By the way, they're trying to say that this victim that's been redacted is Virginia Guffrey or whatever, the victim, and she ended up killing herself a while. That doesn't, like, that's the White House's defense. The Democrats marked out her name. That's Virginia Guffrey, and she said she never did anything with Trump. That doesn't make this any better. She was a victim. She was trafficked. Trump spent hours with her at his house, even if they didn't do anything sexual. And in another email that was released, Epstein said, oh, yeah, Trump knew about the girls. In fact, he told Ghislaine Maxwell one day that we should stop.
I'm 75% there, talking about knowing how dirty Trump is and all these other things we detailed before. That sent the White House into total chaos. And what's the next big actual action that could be taken with this? It's the discharge petition. Mike Johnson, for some reason, I don't think he gets enough heat for this, honestly, but he should be asked this every 2 seconds all the time, anytime a reporter around him. He's not bringing up a bill to the floor to force the release of the files. He's the one blocking that.
That's the whole reason for the discharge petition. Mike Johnson says, oh, we're already reviewing it behind closed doors. And I think that those committees will release it when the time's right, when they've been through everything, when they've looked at everything. They'll release it then. We don't need to release the unredacted files. And everybody else is demanding the unredacted files. So the whole reason for the discharge petition is because Mike Johnson will not let a vote through to release them. They have to go behind him and get enough signatures, 218 signatures is what it takes, to get a discharge petition that Mike Johnson can't even stop the vote. So he's being Trump's good little lapdog, but there's still a way around that.
Being brought to the floor because Trump wants him to. So what they're having to do is pass something different, vote on something different that would force a floor vote on the bill to release. And they had 217, they need 218. Adelita Grijalva could be the 218th. She just got sworn in. I'll show you that in a second. But Trump knows he's not going to sway a Democrat. So now they have the votes because of 4 Republicans. But it hasn't happened yet. So before...
There's only 4 Republicans on there that he can sway, or that he could potentially talk to try to sway.
In between now and when it could happen, and I don't know when it could happen, hopefully very soon, Trump's putting pressure on some of the Republicans. Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace. Some of this is redundant for the full show viewers, but just to fill everyone in, our video, YouTube viewers. And Boebert, I never thought I'd say it, but Boebert, I think, is standing her ground here for what's right. Could it be? Manu Rogers said, I asked Representative Lauren Boebert on September 16th if there was any way she would take her name off of the Jeffrey Epstein discharge petition. No, she told me. Then a reporter, New York Times reporter, says, my understanding...
The discharge petition part is done. What I'm talking about will happen in a week is the floor vote. My understanding is that the relentless pressure campaign that has included carrot, stick, good cop, bad cop has made her even more dug in, suspicious, and convinced there's a conspiracy at play. And it says, I asked Rep. Lauren Boebert on September 16th if there was any way she would take her name off the Jeffrey Epstein discharge petition. No, she told me.
Is that the relentless pressure campaign that has included carrot, stick, good cop, bad cop has made her even more dug in, suspicious, and convinced there's a conspiracy at play. So the ones that they've got, I think they're Republicans, are Thomas Massey. Trump's hounded him and treated him like shit, right? Because he's breaking lines and says Trump doesn't get everything right. He's not even mean to Trump. He just calls Trump out when he's wrong. MTG, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's come out and made this like a focal point of her shit. She's probably not going to flip, right? So that leaves Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace. Now, Lauren Boebert seems more dug in, so all that leaves is Nancy Mace. I thought in the last segment, and then we took a break for our full show viewers, and that's where we're here now, and I found out it wasn't a joke about the Situation Room. Apparently, we're
Yep, 1 of 4. That's what we've been talking about the whole time.
actually talking about a Situation Room meeting that, from the wording here from Caitlin Collins, involved Lauren Boebert to pressure her out of voting to force a vote.
Meaning that a pretty remarkable pressure campaign, including phone call from the president and a personal meeting in the Situation Room with the AG, the deputy AG, and the FBI director, could not sway a Republican House member. In the Situation, can you imagine the pressure they're trying to put on these people? And if it's not that bad, oh, the Democrats are just making it up. It's not bad. And blah, blah, blah. It's not real. It's a conspiracy. The Democrats have made... Why? Why go through all this? Imagine you say, Will, I'm gonna do a background check on you. And I'm like, fine, do it. There's nothing in there. You won't find nothing. Then you're like, all right, I'm doing it right now. And I'm like, I'm going to show up at your house and break your fucking legs. Does that make you think that my background check is good or my background check is bad? I'm sure they tried everything. I'm sure they tried intimidation. I'm sure they tried, oh, well, there's victims in these files and this could harm them and do this and they could be harassed and named. And the Democrats, they edited all the files anyways, right? They changed them all. They probably put Trump in there all over the place. Just Trump, Trump, Trump. Like, they've probably tried fucking everything, including intimidation.
On the bill. Caitlin Collins.
And Trump's biggest thing is, like, making a social media post and calling you a piece of shit and telling people not to vote for you. Like, that was probably the biggest threat. I don't think, surely to God, they're not threatening to fucking kill people, right? But Trump's big thing is he'll talk about how you're a rhino and you're now with the leftist lunatics and that he doesn't have anything to do. You used to be a good egg. He doesn't know what the hell happened. What the hell happened to her? Maybe too much hair dye. Go straight to the brain, they say. RFK says. They tried everything.
Meaning that a pretty remarkable pressure campaign, including phone call from the president and a person.
This is Trump's post from 9 hours ago. The Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax because they'll do anything to deflect how badly they've done on the shutdown. Government's open. We're done with shutdown. And so many others, and so many other subjects. Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. The Democrats cost our country $1.5 trillion with their recent antics of viciously closing our country. Vicious. How do you viciously close something down? While at the same time putting many at risk. And they should pay a fair price. There should be no deflections to Epstein or anything else, and any Republicans involved should be focused only on opening our country and fixing the massive damage caused by the Democrats. He does not. If there's nothing in it about him, it would be like any other bill going through Congress where he just fucking ignores it. Because he's writing his own goddamn laws with executive orders and testing the courts. Right? He's not trying to go to Congress to get shit passed. He's not trying to go to Congress to get shit stopped. Because the Republicans control it. If there's nothing bad in it, why is he having this fucking meltdown? It's like when Bert lies about something and we call it out. If it's not a big deal, why the fuck are you even talking about it for a fucking hour? Because it is a big deal.
Meeting in the Situation Room with an AG, deputy AG, and FBI director could not sway a Republican House member. Guys, I know we've been talking about this story for months now, but this is chilling. I'm actually disturbed right now. This is out of, in a twisted way, a movie. Is she saying they brought a Republican House member, I guess Boebert, into the Situation Room where the military things happen, and they had Todd Blanche, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel all sit there and go, listen, we know best.
Oh, and we talked to Ghislaine Maxwell. There's nothing in the files. There are no files. There's nothing even to release. All you're going to do is hurt the victims. And honestly, you'd probably ruin your reelection. I can't support somebody that wants to side with the radical left, lunatic Democrats and communists and blah, blah, blah. You know, they shut down the government. They should have to pay for that. They're trying to sidestep it with this witch hunt, this hoax.
We understand the implications for we can't actually... And to her credit, so far, if this changes, I'll tell you, she's standing her ground. But that's the level of pressure Trump himself is putting on Boebert. He's also put pressure on Mace, and I think it might be working a little better with her. If that happens, now we're back to 217, if Mace flips. And before I show you Adelie Grijalva, just to show you what... I guess I don't have the post, but I showed you in the other seconds, Mace was kind of like, I'm tired of people saying mean things about Trump, and he's actually not doing anything.
Right.
So maybe she's flipping, but Boebert might be committing correctly.
By the way, Nancy Mace, we watched her throw her fucking hissy fit or whatever in the airport the other day. Now she's suing. Now 6 hours ago, this is what she said. Nancy Mace's post from 6 hours ago. The Epstein petition is deeply personal. When I was 14, I was molested by a friend of one of my coaches and sexually assaulted at 16. I was violently mugged. Months later, I dropped out of high school at 17 because I had nothing left to give. But God helped me turn things around. 2 years ago, I became a survivor of sexual and domestic violence. Once more, to my utter shock, dismay, and embarrassment. When I fled my home, I had nowhere to go. I lived in a friend's one-bedroom garage apartment with 2 kids. I was forced to move 4 separate times to keep me and my children safe. My children were traumatized when they saw the bruises on my body when I finally had the courage to leave in November 2023. I left my life savings in the hands of my abuser. I left my home, my vehicle, everything. I found videos of unconscious women being sexually assaulted. I found images of possible child sexual exploitation material. I worked overtime with my attorneys to turn evidence over to law enforcement. To date, no one has been arrested. During this time, I was assaulted at the Capitol by a pro-trans man. I live with thousands of death threats a year. I was told this week by a whistleblower I was spied on by our airport. I have the establishment coming after me for requiring security to stay alive. My own attorney general even put my safety at risk. About a month ago, I was able to get back on my feet and bought a beautiful home for my children and me. and I'm leading the race for governor of South Carolina, fighting pedos, illegals, corruption, taxes, and have a plan for roads, bridges, and better quality of life for every South Carolinian. I'll never understand why God threw me gut punch after gut punch, but I'm stronger, a better mother, and a better friend to those in need. It's why I'm tough and ignore the evil before me. As a survivor, I will defend every last attack on President Trump to the death. Wait, you said all that to say, as a survivor, I will defend every last attack on President Trump to the death everywhere, just like I did on Stephanopoulos, because I believe in him. And all this fake news, well, it's just noise. I will never abandon other survivors. So Trump's a survivor now? Only in America and under God's grace is this success story even possible. Then she said, I signed my name and kept my name on 5 hours ago. So it seems like the Trump pressure didn't flick her from withdrawing her name. How will she vote when it comes to the floor? Who knows?
The presidency defining.
Oh, 30 minutes ago. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. 30 minutes ago. I signed the discharge petition. I was one of 4 Republicans to do so. I stand with all survivors. When it seems like the world is against you, when the press hates your guts, when your friends desert you, your pain is my pain, your fight is my fight, your justice is our justice. God bless all those who never had a fighting chance. The Epstein vote will be for you too. And 4 American flags. I don't think you can build your whole fucking persona on exposing pedos and then not vote for it, right?
On Trump. Exposing him in a way here by not bending the knee that will go down in the history books. Yeah, so Mace is posting stuff like, I'm so sick of the fake news focusing on Trump and not Epstein victims, which doesn't make any sense. This is about Epstein victims. He's the one blocking it. Now, I'll show you how to lead a girl, but I don't want to have you lose hope, but Mace could flip, and now we're back to not being able to force a vote. Why Mike Johnson feels comfortable on his conscience not bringing this up for a vote? Because otherwise you don't need the discharge position.
Yeah, we don't even need the discharge position. Enough people were just interested. We could have just put this to the floor, right? Nope, had to go around Mike Johnson.
Bring it up for a vote. Would it pass? Honestly, probably. So let me explain, because even I got a little bit confused about the whole process here. The reason why more Republicans aren't voting to force a vote is because they can say, oh, this is just...
By the way, so the halfway post says, breaking, White House lawyers are reportedly worried Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace recorded their phone calls with Trump where he begged, bribed, threatened, and cried for them to reverse their votes on releasing the Epstein files. And then this page says, I troll the Trump administration every day, so subscribe to my Substack. So obviously, it's like an account that makes jokes on an actual topic, right? Like they did ask, obviously, and try to pressure them, but I don't think Trump cried on the phone call. Okay, that would be, this is like a satire account, right? But based on true events. Then Nancy Mace gets on there. Now it's advertised as a satire account. And it says halfway true comedy and satire by Dash McIntyre. I don't report the facts. I improve them. Comedy is cathartic in fascist eras like ours. Okay, so they use real topics, but they over-exaggerate them, like the Babylon Bee or the Onion or whatever. Nancy Mace responds to this and says, "This might be the most retarded post I've seen. President Trump didn't beg or didn't bribe, didn't threaten, and certainly didn't cry. I hope he sues the shit out of you. You people don't give a damn about the Epstein victims. You're just using them to attack Trump. You could rot in hell, all of you." I guess she doesn't understand that it's satire. But okay.
It's procedural. I'm just not going to force Mike Johnson to do something. But I think it's different if they have to, then if the vote is forced, then they would actually have to put their name on, am I voting for or against an Epstein transparency bill? I'm actually on the record voting for or against it. Now, the discharge petition is kind of the same thing, but it's technically not. So I think that's why the feeling is if the discharge petition gets to 18, you're going to get a bunch of Republicans that ultimately vote for the actual bill. Because otherwise, I mean, every one of their careers should be over if they don't. But then here's the scary part. Very hopeful Adelita Grijalva now is sworn in. I'll show you this. She was taking a lot of slights at Mike Johnson. She should. But it would still have to pass the Senate, so we could have the same thing with John Thune in the Senate. Unless I'm missing something.
Oh, by the way, you want to know what Republicans slipped into the bill? to open the government? You want to know? You want to know what the Republicans slipped into the bill to open the government? That every senator, every congressperson, you guys remember that Trump said that Jack Smith tapped the phones of Republican lawmakers. That's not true. This was months and months, years after January 6th. Jack Smith reviewed call logs with a warrant to see which lawmakers, when he was trying Trump for January 6th, which lawmakers he contacted and which ones he didn't, and the timeline to get the date and time added up. Because Trump was in panic mode trying to get Mike Pence to overturn the fucking election. There was no taps. There was no monitoring phone calls. There was no violation of anybody's rights. Okay? It was a warrant to see call records. Anyways, the Republicans snuck in to the funding package, right? That any lawmaker that had their phone records looked at by Jack Smith could sue the federal government for $500,000. Isn't that precious? Even Mike Johnson came out and said, "This is the first I'm hearing of it, but I trust John Thune. He's a great leader." But some members got together and hoisted that upon, put that in the bill last minute. And then Mike Johnson added, "I wish they hadn't, and I think that's a really bad look." I don't understand what they're upset about. When Trump was trying to coordinate with Republican lawmakers and a fake slate of electors, and his own vice president overturned the election, it's kind of important to see who he was in contact with and the times that he was in contact with on January 6th. No? But they can sell it as illegal wiretap, phone tap. Trump can lie about anything, and his people fucking eat it up.
It would go to Trump's desk. So, But again, Trump may want to kill it by preventing it from coming up to a vote because he understands actually vetoing it is too much to be on the record. Behind the scenes, oh, I'm sorry, gosh, looks like the House isn't passing, is different than I vetoed having to release the Epstein file. That's a little different. So it's very important this happens, but it is like, oh, there's still a long... I haven't been telling you guys that because I wasn't even thinking about that. I just kept thinking, if this happens, it happens. And maybe there's a special procedure where the House can force transparency just by a certain oversight measure. Nope. Again, from my understanding, that's the sequence of events. So there's still a long road. And even if this happens, it'll get scheduled sometime in December, the vote in the House. But at least, maybe we have the votes now, and at least Boebert has not been in these so far. If she does, I just want her to know I will personally dedicate myself to never letting anyone forget about it ever. That is protecting pedophiles. That's all it is. That's it. But here, finally, after weeks of Mike Johnson blocking her swearing in, here's Adelita Grijalva warning.
So basically, in 2023, so there's let me understand. Let me tell you what Trump's trying to say. In 2023, Jack Smith got in his Verizon wireless time machine and went back to 2021 and tapped the phone of Republican law. No. They read the call log 2 years later. The records, which the FBI analyzed in 2023, enabled investigators to see basic information about the date and time of phone calls, but not the content of communications. And you think a goddamn senator, I know they understand this. But it makes better headlines and makes people more angry when you say they tapped the phone lines of Republican lawmakers. What was Joe Biden doing with that? Well, Donald Trump was fucking president, by the way, but whatever. During January 6th. If it would have been a tap, that would have been under Trump. It wasn't. They analyzed the fucking call log. The senator's phone data that investigators scrutinized came from calls made between January 4th and January 7th and was obtained by Smith through a grand jury subpoena, the senator said. So they had to correct, what's that? Chuck Grassley. They had to correct Chuck Grassley, the lawyers associated with all of this and the grand jury and everything else, had to correct Chuck Grassley because he came out and said that 8 GOP senators and 1 Republican House member were targeted and their phones were tapped by the FBI.
That you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations, you're now a member of Congress.
There's the swearing in.
Please do if you appreciate the show. Click the subscribe button. It makes a big difference. It's very easy. It's free, but it boosts the show and gets thus more of our message out. Then we move to, after standing here with Mike Johnson, she gets asked the question, why did it take so long for you to be sworn in? She goes, ask this guy.
Handshake. Thank you.
We'll leave the camera to it.
Thank you guys. That would be another. That would not be my question.
This is the look. I really like this lady. She's going to be an excellent member of Congress. She's a great person.
I really like this lady. Watch. This is professional face sliding. Right. Watch. This is pro. Watch the look on her face. She's telling you a whole story while he's talking.
I just told her on the way in that she fills her father's shoes, or she's going to try. No one can.
No one can.
He was a giant around here, served a long time, served his state very well. I served under him in the Natural Resources Committee for a while and admired the way he did the work. He was tenacious. So she has a proud family legacy, and we're delighted to have her here. She may not agree with me, but we follow the custom of the House on the timetable, and we've had a little, as we say in the Deep South, some intense fellowship about that.
Yes.
Okay? But she's here now, and I promise that
She's not having it, and to her credit, she's not having it with him. We were following the no, you're not. You could have done it. You did it with Republicans, pro forma sessions. You could have done it. You didn't. And I guess it's kind of, you know what we referenced earlier?
These motherfuckers have been on vacation the whole time. And they had no intention of negotiating a goddamn thing. They didn't even fucking show up.
Maybe it's not that they think they could delay the swearing in forever for the Epstein files to never released. It's not that. But that they could delay it long enough for Trump to pressure one of the Republicans into flipping, and then we're back to 217. And it looks like that might have worked with Mace. I don't know how Mace, who tries to coin herself a big defender of victims, could possibly ever be on the record voting against this, but maybe. Here was a speech after Grijalva was sworn in.
Our democracy only works when everyone has a voice. This includes the millions of people across the country who have experienced violence and exploitation, including Liz Stein.
Oh, by the way, here's the statement that clears that up. It says, as you know, toll records merely contain telephonic routing information collected after calls have taken place, identifying incoming and outgoing calls, numbers, the time of the calls, and their duration. Toll records are historical in nature, they're not wiretaps, and do not include the content of the calls. It is well established that obtaining toll records pursuant to a subpoena is a routine and lawful investigative step that happens every day and does not violate an individual's expectation of privacy.
And Jessica Michaels, both survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. They are here in the gallery with us this evening. Thank you for being here.
By the way, you want to know one more thing? I'm sorry, I'm going off on 2 different tangents at the same time. I can't fix it. It's just coming out of me, okay? When Trump was president the first time, and apparently there were leaks around the Russia-Trump collusion investigation, Trump's DOJ did the exact same thing to Swalwell and Adam Schiff and 40 of their staff. Do they get to sue the government for $500,000 apiece? God damn. Fucking hypocrites, dude.
Just this morning, House Democrats released more emails showing that Trump knew more about Epstein's abuses than he previously acknowledged. It's past time for Congress to restore its role as a check and balance on this administration and fight for we, the American people. We need to fight for our immigrant communities and veterans. We need to stand up for our public schools, children, and educators. We need to respect tribal sovereignty in our environment. We need to stand up for LGBTQ plus rights because that's what the American people expect us to do.
So a big part of her message too, which is correct, we talked about before, is Republicans do this thing where they say, you can't push back on, and just so you know, my chair is just falling apart. It's drooping so much I'm barely even sitting in a chair. I'm mostly just doing a squat, okay? So if you think I look straight, that's why I'm squatting right now. That because Trump won, we can't vote against him. Oh, he won, mandate, meh. Didn't even get more than 50% of the vote, by the way. But we have to do whatever he wants because he has a mandate. And Democrats, how dare you go against that mandate by advocating for your districts? And she has emphasized, wait, the whole system of our government is that different people are elected and then can hold the other elected officials accountable. So no, we don't just bend the knee to whatever Trump wants. There should be pushback. There should be a fight. Then you have this.
What is most concerning is not what this administration has done, but what the majority in this body has failed to do. Hold Trump accountable as a co-equal branch of government that we are.
Precisely. They are Congress has been completely useless. Has seen itself as just an extension of not even extension, a little puppy dog of the executive branch, not its own branch of government. Then you have Greg Stanton coming up and speaking.
And her first act of Congress will be a powerful one. She will be the 218th and final signature on the discharge petition to force the Trump administration to release the Epstein files, delivering long overdue justice and accountability for hundreds of victims abused by rich and powerful men.
So again, am I missing something procedurally? Obviously, if you got enough votes, you could override a veto, but I don't see Republicans doing that. Very important. They charge forward anyways. Since we're coming to the end of the show, a couple miscellaneous things. MAGA's very upset about this clip of Trump being asked about H-1B visas, and Trump ends up saying, we don't have talented people here in America.
H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration. Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and you have to people.
Guys, I can explain more the nuances of what he might be thinking and discussing the economic benefits for everyone, for certain lawful immigration, robust lawful immigration, skilled this, that, the other thing, innovation. And he's not speaking to us. He's speaking to his base. And his base does not like that argument. And it's also just politically terrible.
We don't have smart people here.
We don't have talented people. Even if I understand the point you're trying to make, which is we can benefit from bringing in also more talented people, not more than us, but just additional also talented people. You understand? But he went, no, we don't. We're a bunch of bums. Have you seen Americans lately? I have a friend, big friend, real large. He's using the fat shot. It's not working, as Trump has said. And then Marjorie Green responded by saying, I believe you're talented American workers. Oh, no, Marjorie. She also, after Trump said that Marjorie lost her way since she's been criticizing him, said the only way is through Jesus. That's my way. I've definitely not lost it. Actually, I'm working hard to put my faith into action. My job title is representative. That's for Georgia's 14th district and the American people. No one else. America first. America only. Heart, American flag. Heart, American flag. Heart, American flag. So that's what she's up to. And then Trump has been saying, I don't want to hear about affordability. It's a Democratic con job. Let's see Scott Besson's defense.
So, Mr. Secretary, it's not news anchors at NBC saying it, it's the voters a week ago saying life is too expensive in this country. So do you believe the idea that voters are saying affordability is a problem for me is a con job?
I believe even this morning you had two people come on and say, well, I look at the price at the pump and I know costs are up. Well, gasoline's down. So that is a con job. And I think
by a cent. A cent. And then energy's up. So I
think that's what's frustrating.
So you don't believe that all the people who went to vote last Tuesday on the issue of affordability, my rent's too high, I can't afford to buy a house, groceries are too expensive. You think they're just misperceiving what's happening in their lives?
I think that that we inherited an affordability crisis. We have slowed the price increases down, and they are going to continue to slow down, and that real working class wages will go up, and that will address the affordability.
Okay, so I mean, he's not doing any better than Trump at defending that position, and that's what we'll wrap it up.
Epstein files seem to be a big deal for Trump currently. Aaron Parnas
We have
reported it
major
first.
breaking news right now. Complete chaos in the White House over the fact that the Epstein Files discharge petition may hit 218 signatures. They just called an emergency meeting, according to CNN, of top Justice Department officials, including Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, the Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel, the FBI Director, alongside Lauren Boebert. Donald Trump has personally called both Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace in an effort to try to have them remove their names from the Epstein discharge petition. They're two of the 4 Republicans who have signed on. The other 2 are Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene, neither of whom have signed or will remove their names. But there is a full court press happening right now as increased panic within the White House sets in that the Epstein files may soon become public, or that the House of Representatives may soon vote, a full House of Representatives vote, on whether to release the files publicly. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a full court press over the next few hours. Spread the word. Full updates on my Substack, linked in bio, so subscribe for free. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news that you need to know about. More to come.
It is fun to kind of see them squirm. I just have no faith in it actually coming to bite them in the ass, right? They'll just make an excuse and go on with their life, but still. Oh my God, he looks like such a fucking...
Came on and look, it went nuts. Look at his bubbles, Dale. Look at the bubbles.
Upchurch struggling, maybe.
We have some big news right now. Republican politicians behind the scenes are telling one another that they are afraid to speak out against what is happening in the White House, what is happening in this country, out of fears of retaliation from Donald Trump and his...
Yes, and you guys let him fucking do it and cheered him on. You guys let him fucking do it and cheered him on when he was ruining somebody else's chance of, ever being reelected or having support from his base. You guys cheered it on when it wasn't you. And now there's nobody left to defend you. You can't cross Trump now. You guys have made your own fucking prison. One goddamn shitty tweet at a time.
Administration. And it's not surprising. Whenever they speak out, they get pummeled by the right and those around the White House. Lisa Murkowski from Alaska spoke out. She got attacked from those around the White House. Marjorie Taylor Greene's now speaking out. She is getting attacked from those near the White House. Senator Rand Paul was recently asked why more Senate Republicans aren't joining Democrats to overturn tariffs. He said, quote, fear. And now ultimately, you know who suffers? Constituents, because these members aren't going to public events and districts. It truly isn't a partisan issue by any means. And right now, the President of the United States, as we've seen over the past 9 months, is actively trying to consolidate power. And anyone who speaks out against him gets thrown to the side by those around him. And as a result, they stay silent out of that fear. That's why I partnered with Represent Us to make this video, to share this PSA. Because right now we need a Congress, regardless of party affiliation, that has courage. So go to the link in my bio, sign the petition, spread the word, follow along for more.
Oh, let's see what she's doing. I like Jen.
You know what woke means? It means
the pastor of Germantown Baptist Church in his sermon on Sunday defending himself after not giving a formula to a hungry baby.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? Yeah.
Oh, pretty good. What else do we have? What else? Our favorite cartoonist has been up and at it again.
The story of how...
That was the joke, that it was Trump saying that. and comparing it to the preacher trying to defend himself for not giving formula to a baby.
The story of how Stephen Miller controls Lil Donnie, a theory. The elderly should no longer be eligible for public office. It is now, without any doubt, a national security risk. We all remember when our boy Donnie was visibly angry and confused by a simple label on his own propaganda for Kilmar Obrega Garcia. Unable to tell that a Kinko's text overlay wasn't a decades-old tattoo, we all moved on from that one way too quickly. Now, to be clear, this is just a theory, but a very, very plausible one. I believe that Stephen Miller has some trash teen intern pumping out simple, fake AI videos to fool Donnie, and it is clearly working. I want to...
So when Stephen Miller... Now listen. Listen very closely. Let's say Stephen Miller wants Trump to, start going after Atlanta and the politicians in Atlanta and the government in Atlanta and really dogging them out and blah, blah, blah. And maybe wants to move the military in there or police force or do ICE raids. Stephen Miller, hypothetically, has somebody make an AI video like the one you're going to see in here of somebody in, black bloc and fuck Trump signs and blah, blah, blah. And in the background, a very well-known building, skyline of Atlanta, and a building on fire and cars exploding and shit, and shows it to Trump and says, this is what's going on in Atlanta. Are you telling me that Trump would know the difference? Hypothetically, if that happened, are you telling me that Trump would know the difference? Because he shared on his own AI videos that he didn't know were fake. He argued with a reporter, and even when the reporter's like, whatever, we'll move on, he continued to argue with the reporter that Obrego Garcia's arm really said MS-13 on it and didn't just have 4 symbols and someone had photoshopped on there. Trump cannot tell the difference between AI and real video. Just like you could spin any story to him you want, and if you make it sound like these people support you, these people need you, it's the woke mob, you want to attack them, this person donated to, just like he had no idea who he's pardoning. Again, they kept saying that about Biden. Biden don't know, 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 Biden don't know who he's pardoning. And then Trump comes on and admit, like, I have no idea. I've never met the guy. I don't know what he did or what he's in for. I just heard they were really bad to him. Joe Biden hates the crypto. That's what I've heard. This is a crypto man or woman or they, them, a crypto thing. And this crypto, they, them, really mean from Joe Biden. He had the worst presidential run in history. He hated the crypto. We love the crypto. My son tells me the crypto is next.
Show you exactly how easy this would be to do with consumer tech in a super quick and convincing way.
Step 1, open the journey and prompt. 2 Antifa protesters, Portland on fire, one with blue hair. You'll get something.
So 2 Antifa protesters with Portland on fire, one with blue hair. Now, some AIs are not good at text. That's okay. We'll just substitute that with any of the Photoshop. So they're making a song about it to make it funny, but that's 2 Antifa protesters, one with blue hair, Portland on fire, right? So that's the picture you got.
You'll get something like this. Not bad, but let's fix it up a bit. Step 2, open context or C-Dream or Google's Nano Banana, right?
Context, C-Dream, Nano Banana, and from Google, and fix the text. Now it says Antifa, and it's even got a fuck Trump patch on it, right? Now what do we do? This is just a still image, right? And it's kind of blurry and kind of, is it real? Well, now we just take it to another generative AI and animate it into a short video. Now tell me I'm going to mute it for a second because the music's funny, but tell me that Trump would know that this video right here is fake. We've seen the video he shares. We've seen the pictures he shares. Tell me he would know that this video right here is fake. No goddamn way. And tell me, honestly, I don't care if you hate Trump, if you fucking hate him to your core. Tell me honestly that if Stephen Miller said, have you seen what's going on in Portland, sir, and showed him this video, we already established he wouldn't know it was fake. Tell me honestly, do you think Trump would check any other sources? Do you think Trump would be like, oh, well, that's interesting, but let's see if we have any other angles or sources, or let's send this out and see, what's the frame rate on this, or what is the resolution? Because there's several well-known resolutions that are only AI videos. That's another telltale sign that it's AI. What's the metadata on this video? What's the metadata? That's usually another telltale sign of what's going on here with an AI video. You could control the most powerful man in the world with a couple of fake social media accounts that one person runs that has basic fucking knowledge of AI. None of this is advanced, right? You can do everything here without even signing up for an account in the free versions of these apps. And you can control the most powerful man in the fucking world. Because he's a goddamn toddler.
This all-in-one simple prompt. Step 3, go to cling, drop the video, and out comes your propaganda, easy as pie. This is 100% fake. Took about 5 minutes to make. Took no skills at all. Anyone can do it. Even that fucker. Stephen Miller. Even that fucker. Stephen Miller. Even that fucker. Stephen Miller could do this in about 5 minutes.
It is wild seeing, you know how they always say like every accusation's like a confession? So I was watching a clip today and the accusation was Biden, right? Oh, Joe Biden. He had dementia and we don't even think he was running the government. It was like what you have in socialist and communist countries where this shadow group of people is really controlling the president or the leader. And you don't at all. I'll give you it. This is say that's true. But you don't at all get the feeling, that same feeling with Trump, when he doesn't even know the crime that was committed of a person he pardoned. Or when he makes a wild claim and someone says, is that true? And he's like, I saw a video of it. And they're like, it could be AI. And he's like, could be. But he's already made the claim. Trump's not even really in charge. He's the figurehead that his followers like. And he likes to fucking say crazy shit and tweet about it and just wild shit. Someone else is feeding him all of this, and he's too goddamn dumb to know the truth from the fiction. That's the problem. And he surrounded himself with the worst fucking people to ever trust. But at least they'll say yes when you ask something.
Hello, we're 8 Senate Dems. We've reached a bipartisan deal to reopen the government. Hello, we're the other 252 members of the Democratic caucus who didn't approve this. Did you negotiate ICE out of our cities? Nope. Did you lower the cost of living? Nope. But you prevented the ACA premiums from tripling for 24 million Americans, right? Nope. We punt that vote until December. But Dems don't have the votes, and Speaker Mike Johnson hasn't promised anything.
All right, listen. This sounds bad. Like Democrats just folded. But here's a way to look at it, okay? Let's see. Should we get out? Is it learning time chat? Let's see if I can learn you something. It looks bad. It looks like they folded. It looks like it's horrible. It looks like they didn't get anything. But here's something that might, I'm just saying, this is a hypothetical, okay? I'm not saying it's true, but here we go. Let's do this. Actually, let's do this. Okay. So we were right here. I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see better. Okay. We were right here. And the ACA subsidies were set to expire. So we go here and go shut down. Okay? We go there and go shut down. Now they're going to expire, let's say right here, December. Okay? So, the Republicans were refusing to negotiate on anything. So let's say we didn't do anything. And this shutdown just continues straight through. Okay? Let's say we didn't do anything. This shutdown just continues straight through. The Republicans were just bringing it on the Democrats. The Democrats were just blaming it on the Republicans. Nobody was really changing their mind. Nothing was substantial was happening. Would that fix the ACA? No. When we got to January, the ACA subsidies were gone, right? Okay. Currently, the Republicans were doing a really good job of blaming Dems for the shutdown, right? They were doing that, at least with their followers, okay? They were blaming Democrats, saying, oh, well, we don't have the votes, even though they weren't negotiating, even though they weren't coming to the table, even though they weren't talking about solutions, nothing. They actually went home. They're doing a really good job. Not only were they blaming them for the shutdown, they were blaming them for the ACA being, when people were going on the marketplace, marketplace and seeing their rates goddamn double, triple, quadruple, they were saying, oh, it's because the government's shut down right now. That literally, this was a narrative that was out there in Republican circles. Because the government was shut down right now. When it opens back up, it'll be fixed. Just got to wait for the government to open up. They can't pay money while they're shut down. So that was good on them. Okay? So what do we have now? Shut down, and then we're going to open. And we had people go across the aisle, right? So it's open with a promise. Is that much? No, not really. I don't expect much out of them, right? It's just a promise to vote on it. But when we get here in December, this is when the vote happens. So what is worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is the ACA expires. It's not set to expire. It just expires. But they promise to vote on it. So, worst case scenario, the ACA expires. And now, just like the Epstein thing, we have a list of people who voted no. Right now, it was just kind of vague. Let's say either we just open the government back up without this promise to vote, or we didn't. We just try to hold on as long as we could with the shutdown. There was nobody to really say they did it, right? They fucking did it. They caused your insurance to go up. They did it. Because people believed it was the Democrats caused the shutdown. You can't get nothing done with the shutdown. They couldn't even vote on it if they wanted. They couldn't have addressed it. Mike Johnson saying, we got big plans to address it. We just got to get the government open. But there was no list of people saying they fucking did it. Now, if the ACA expires, we have a list of people that voted to raise your health insurance to unsustainable levels. And best case scenario, they do vote on something that I don't expect this to happen, but that helps ACA recipients. Some type of subsidy, some type of extension, some type of something. They're going to want something for this. They're already leaning to what they might want for it is stricter abortion regulations, which is crazy. I don't think we should vote on that and give them that, right? Basically, they want the ACA, well, we'll give you some of your subsidies back, but we don't want it funding abortions. I don't think they should take that deal. I think they should force them to vote, no, we're not going to extend these subsidies. I think it should be that plain and simple. This is to extend the healthcare subsidies so people can afford insurance. We're voting on it like you promised, and you're either going to vote yes or no. Are people going to be able to afford their insurance come January? And if you vote no, it sucks. They're going to expire. People are going to suffer because of that. But that's the same outcome no matter whether we shut down the government, whether we open the government up. That's the same outcome still. I do not think there was honestly a scenario where we kept the shutdown until the Republicans come out and said, okay, we'll give you your subsidies because we got to get the government open back up. I just don't think that was a thing. I don't think that Mike Johnson was going to come back and be like, okay, we gotta fix these subsidies. I think they were pretty set, right? Mutual destruction. We don't give a fuck. We're not giving you those subsidies. But with a promise to vote, at least just like on the Epstein files, when we get the discharge petition and send it to vote, we have a list of people who wanted to release the Epstein files. We have a list of people who didn't. When we get the subsidies come around, we'll have a list of people who voted to keep your health insurance affordable and a list of people who voted against it. And that's probably the best they could have hoped for. Maybe some other contingencies and some other, I don't know. I'm trying to think as Mike Johnson, as a Republican, as the Republican administration, let's say they did hold out and they didn't finally fold. What was the best thing you think they could actually get from Republicans? I do not think it is, okay, we'll give you your subsidies, open the government. I just don't think that's feasible. I don't think that was going to happen. So then you ask yourself, what are we playing for? A promise to vote? Is that the best we can get? Maybe not. Is it something, right? Because we didn't even have that before. We just had Mike Johnson saying, yeah, we'll fix it, I promise. But the government's got to be open to fix it, wink, wink. So I don't know.
So we gave MAGA exactly, nope, we punt that vote until December. But Dems don't have the votes, and Speaker Mike Johnson hasn't promised anything. So we gave MAGA exactly.
I think they should have gotten, I think a better scenario would have been not only to get the House, but the House and the Senate a promise to vote on subsidies.
What they wanted, got nothing in return, and now we're completely screwed. Why would you do this?
This is that really happened, guy. He's actually makes some really good videos.
Hello, I'm Senator John Thune. Hello, we're 8 Senate Dems. We've reached a bipartisan deal to reopen the...
Is that the one we just watched?
Hello, we're the other 252 members of the Democratic caucus who didn't approve this. Did you negotiate ICE out of our cities? Nope. Did you lower the cost of living? Nope. But you prevented the ACA premiums from...
Is it uploaded twice?
Secretary of Health and Human...
Or did I just click on the wrong one?
Junior. Hello, we're the thousands of Americans that will die if subsidies for the ACA are not renewed. Can the president please help save our lives? Absolutely not. Also, circumcision causes autism. What? Hello, I'm the creator of the comic Dilbert and Trump loyalist Scott Adams. I have made horribly racist statements online and also happen to have prostate cancer. Can the president help save my life? Absolutely, the president wants to help. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Hello, I'm Secretary of Health and... Hello, I'm James...
Oh, we've seen this one, too. He's got some pretty good ones. Some of them are pretty funny. I swear I thought... No, this is a different one. Did I not click on this one?
Hello, I'm Senator John Thune. I just snuck a rider into this bill that reopens the government to give $1 million paydays to Republican senators who were investigated for January 6th. Hello, I'm Senator Ron Wyden. That is insanely corrupt. Insanely awesome. This new law means that the DOJ has to notify a senator if they're under investigation. You think they're under investigation?
Not any citizen, mind you, and not even any member of Congress, but any senator. Just any senator now has to be notified if they're under investigation.
You think Schumer would approve that and Democrats will vote for it? They already did. Schumer thinks that this will stop Pam Bondi, but come on. One day you libs will be back in power and we don't want you snooping around Senate Republicans. So what can people do? You could replace Chuck Schumer as your leader for being useless. Please don't. We love that guy. Hello, I'm Senator John Thune. I just snuck...
So not only are they all getting up to $500,000 each from the federal government for them looking at their phone records, which they do to us all of goddamn time. Anytime you're under investigation, you best believe they pulled your fucking phone records. But now they're going to be notified anytime any senator, not a House member, just a senator, is under investigation from the federal government. They must be notified. That's in this latest bill to fund the government. This is the video I was trying to click on. How fucking insane, dude. How insane. You think they'd give us the same rights? You think they'd let us know anytime we're under investigation? For all I know, I'm under investigation right now. I don't fucking know. It looks bad, and it looks like it's getting worse. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Good luck. We got one more video. I want to show the older millennial lying. The gold millennial.
All right, look, so this could actually be some very serious breaking news. About 2 hours ago, the Democrat Oversight Committee released emails that they say they got from the Jeffrey Epstein estate. Now, in these emails, it doesn't paint Donald Trump in a very good light. Now, it doesn't overtly say that he actually did anything, but from the contents of these emails, it very much implies that he did something wrong. Very much implies.
I don't think it implies, well, it implies that he knew. I don't think it implies that just because he's with a victim for 4 hours, I mean, you could use deductive reasoning, but it definitely implies that he knew.
That he was involved in this in some way. Now, let me just say real quick that the emails haven't been verified. There's literally no proof been released of where they came from or how they got them. But I did want to say this. If the information in these emails turns out to be true, and there's some evidence behind them that actually says that Donald Trump was doing something that, let's just say he shouldn't have, or he was involved in the Jeffrey Epstein in some kind.
What do you want to bet the very next video? The very next video, he's making excuses for him. This way.
In a dirty way. I don't want to hear any of my fellow conservative content creators defending him. Because I sure as fuck won't be. I, like everyone who's not a horrible fucking human being, want every single person who is involved with Jeffrey Epstein in any way, committed any crimes, to be punished. And like I said, we didn't verify these emails. We have no idea where they came from. They're saying they came from the Jeffrey Epstein estate. And again, the information in them is heavily redacted, so we don't know what's being said. But if the information does turn out to be true, and there is evidence behind them, or there's witnesses willing to give testimony, and you defend it because you like Donald Trump, my only response is fuck you. All right, look, so this could actually be some very serious.
All right, so let's see.
All right, so update on my prior video about the Democrats releasing emails trying to implicate Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. You guys got to stay with me on this because the news is moving so fucking fast.
Wrong. People's insurance is already fucking doubling and tripling. It's not just a 20% raise. Yes, it is COVID-era subsidies. Because healthcare skyrocketed under COVID, they should still be there.
All right, so update on my prior video about the Democrats releasing emails trying to implicate Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein.
Here it is.
Gotta stay with me on this because the news is moving so
Here we go.
fast. Turns out that the emails they released are just rehashes of what was said by Virginia Giuffre, who I will remind you has testified multiple times that President Trump did nothing and that she never even saw him at Epstein's house. See, what the Democrats did was take the exact same wording that Virginia Giuffre had put out, and they redacted her name and redacted certain details to make it seem ominous. And I just have to say,
they literally redacted a victim's name. That's what they do, first of all. Second of all, it doesn't matter. All it says is that Trump was at the house with her for 4 hours. Let's say they did nothing. Let's say they did nothing. Sexual or whatever. He was with a victim at Epstein's house for 4 hours. A victim that used to work with him, that by his own admission had pleasant conversations with before. He couldn't figure out that she was being trafficked or something weird was going on. Because in the other emails, it says, oh, yeah, he knew exactly what was going on. He actually told Ghislaine at one point that we need to stop. Now, it doesn't say in what capacity. Do we need to stop around here, or we need to stop being so public about it, or we need to stop altogether? It doesn't say that. That tells us that he knew something wrong was going on.
Fucking disgusting. Like, it really is. Because in its original form, that stuff was never redacted, which means that the only reason they redacted it now was to create a sense that Donald Trump had done something, because they redacted it. It wasn't the FBI or the Department of Justice or some lawyers. No, they intentionally redacted certain things to create problems, which means the Democrat Party is so desperate and has no evidence of Donald Trump doing anything wrong that they are now.
We'll get right back to this. Healthcare costs could triple for millions of Americans. The subsidies have been essential for people buying healthcare through Obamacare. In 2025, 24 million people obtained insurance through the ACA Marketplace. The Center of Budget Policy reports that 93% of enrollees received these tax credits that helped reduce their costs. If Obamacare subsidies do expire, though, Marketplace estimates say the premiums could double or even triple for those 22 million Americans who receive enhanced subsidies that make health premiums cheaper. According to Health Policy Research Group, KFF, 57% of ACA Marketplace enrollees live in Republican congressional districts. Older adults and seniors are particularly at risk of losing access to health care, since the subsidies spurred a 50% reduction in uninsured rate among Americans. And the more people that drop off, the more expensive it gets. So each time someone's like, that's too expensive for me, whether it's a 20% increase or a fucking tripling, every time somebody falls off, healthcare rates get more expensive. The CBO also estimates that ACA expirations, about 4 million people would become uninsured than would otherwise be the case. But anyways, back to this.
Modifying prior emails and prior evidence to lie. Guys, let's be real about this. That's beyond fucked up. All right,
let's talk about it. Is that where we're going? Let's break it down. Is he telling us the truth? Does this make him look any better that the victim was Virginia Giuffre? Or Jeffrey? I don't know how the fuck do you say it. Everybody says it different when I watch them say it on the news.
All right, so update on my prior video about the Democrats releasing emails trying to implicate Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein. You guys got to stay with me on this because the news is moving so fast.
Literally, these videos are 10 minutes apart. Like, I'll never make excuses for this piece of shit if that's what he did. Here's an excuse I just made for Donald Trump. Like, you couldn't make it up if you wanted to.
Turns out that the emails they released are just rehashes of what was said by Virginia Giuffre, who I will remind you has testified multiple times that President Trump did nothing and that she never even saw him at Epstein's house. See, what the Democrats did was take the exact same wording that Virginia Giuffre had put out, and they redacted her name and redacted certain details.
So that's not true. He's making it seem like it was an email from Jennifer about Trump, right? These are the words she said. He said they just took the words she said and put them back out. So that would be her writing an email saying me and Trump did nothing. That's not true. It's a third party from the outside looking in saying Trump was here with this victim for this many hours.
To make it seem ominous.
We about to fact check this. First, if you mess with me, make sure that follow button. Let's get it. What the hell is he talking about? Now, if you don't know, the Democratic Oversight Committee just released 3 emails from Jeffrey Epstein that mentions Donald.
They released 20,000 emails, but these 3 were probably the worst.
Trump. And these emails are terrible when you read them. Now, the White House and MAGA loyalists are saying that the person's name who's redacted in the email is Virginia Giuffre. And that is unfortunately one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. She also came out and said that her and Donald Trump has never did anything inappropriate. But if you actually did research, you realize that the White House don't make any sense. Because if they're saying that the redacted name is Virginia Giuffre, that would mean that Virginia Giuffre spent hours in Jeffrey Epstein's house with Donald Trump. And that's weird because that means that Donald Trump was hanging out with one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims at Jeffrey Epstein's house. But this doesn't really help Donald Trump when we address the other 2 emails.
So he hung out alone at Epstein's house with one of Epstein's victims for 4 hours. How does that make it better? Let's say they didn't fuck. How does that make it any better? Trump's claim is he still barely knew the man.
Victim at Jeffrey Epstein's house. But this doesn't really help Donald Trump when we address the other 2 emails. In another email, Jeffrey Epstein mentions that Donald Trump knows about the girls.
I want to read that one.
Donald Trump knows.
It says, victim, Mar-a-Lago. Then something else is marked out. And it says, Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. He was never a member at Mar-a-Lago. Of course he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop.
About the girls. People are also wondering, why are these emails coming out now when they could have come out before? Not only were we in the middle of a government shutdown, the Oversight Committee recently received this information after they sent a subpoena months ago to receive all of Epstein's information. They also got to redact some information before they can give out the information to the public. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is not having a great day.
The emails are fucking bad, right? The emails are bad. Trump wouldn't be freaking out and calling fucking people on the discharge petition and doing that if there wasn't bad shit in there, right? He wouldn't be saying any Republican that votes for this is going to have a bad time and they need to be doing this instead. And you guys know this is a hoax. It wasn't a hoax when you ran on it. When did it become a hoax? When you saw that people were actually going to hold you to it? Not like the lock her up and all that other bullshit you ran on last time. Weird, huh? All right, guys, I'm out for the night. If you want to support the show, do that. The GOP never, ever, 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 ever benefits ordinary people, but that's a different story. The only time you'll see a slight benefit is when, like, you get the smallest tax cut in the world, so billionaires don't pay taxes at all, right? And they're like, we get across the board, we gave tax cuts. Anyways. Thank you guys for joining us. Please consider supporting the show at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. We've passed our first electrical inspection, little walkthrough inspection at the campground today. So that means I've got more work to do to get done at the campground. So I'll be working on that through the day. I can't guarantee I'll be here every night, but I'll be here as much as I can. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being here. I'll see you about the next one. Have a good night. Support the show at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. See you on the next one, guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believers? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like Thor in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, beating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking, he was doing so well. It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on Cox that came first. 9th inning, 2nd string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, shit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens. Believing in reason with no meaning is bullshit. Will burn motherfuckers out here busting the grifts.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts, cause you're a pussy.